For when one ascends to a certain pinnacle, it all comes back in due time. Real strategy requires cunning.
The Iranian Intermezzo is a chaotic time for any ruler in the former Arabian Empire, dividing friends and family alike along two lines of rule: those in support of the caliphal authority throughout the entirety of the Middle East, and those who believed the caliph should at best be only limited to Baghdad, let everyone else do as they please. I am Vali Amir Lethzadi, ruler of a few meager lands amidst this turmoil, and my house, House Safarid, is a house divided along these lines, and this is my story. My story starts in 867 AD, smack dab in the middle of this terrifying Iranian Intermezzo struggle. I am again Vali Amir Lethzadi of Panjur. I own two meager towns, nothing too terribly fancy. However, a little bit more about myself. I am ambitious, callous, and temperate. Now that means a bit more level-headed than most in the region. However, my ambition will allow me to pursue things that, well, may give me some advantage. I'm a flamboyant trickster, giving me a great deal of intrigue, and in fact, it's this intrigue that's allowed me to be my liege's spy master, something we'll get to in just a little bit. Now, however, this gives me a great discovery chance and success against those around me that I might seek to, well, be ambitious against. Overall, nothing to really brag and write home about. My diplomacy is decent, my marshal's decent as well, stewardship is okay, gives me a little bit of bonuses here and there, and my learning due to my faith, which we'll also address, is something that I might end up pursuing because, well, my faith really demands it of me. My prowess is, again, nothing too crazy. However, my Persian culture does lend towards that. Now, on the other hand, I am a loyal person, which means I am less likely to join a faction against my liege. However, I feel that were I slighted somehow by my faction leader, something may have to happen. I'm also a rather shrewd man, which I think lends in all the positive ways to me, but I think mostly, especially regarding the Iranian Intermezzo, I am a supporter of the caliphal authority. That means that I believe the caliphate should reaffirm its hold on the entirety of the Middle East, and that sways me in many, many ways. It'll determine how I decide to rule my own kingdom, how I might pursue certain events, ally myself with certain people, as I wouldn't really want to ally myself against someone who doesn't think as I do. And that's going to come into play heavily here, because actually, people who are on the opposing sides, even family members, are not going to have very good chances at forming these relationships with each other if they're on opposite sides of the struggle. Now, I am excitedly following the Asharism Muslim faith, and these have some interesting things going for us. Legalism is one of the bigger things. Of course, we value the law, and anyone who goes against the law is therefore sinful, to the point where I can join others who align with me, essentially, to declare war and join factions against sinful creatures. I have the fatwa, which means rulers with high learning may condemn sinful vassals. The more sinful a vassal, the less learning. This is part of the reason, in part, why I want to pursue learning, because, well, I can certainly get rid of some people depending on how sinful they truly are. And then struggle and submission. If one exists, the head of faith can declare a holy war. Piety and devotion from winning holy wars is increased by 50%. If we want to pursue piety, which I don't know why we wouldn't, we would want to declare holy wars and work on that. Nothing too crazy doctrinal here. Lay clergy, I can control my own temple holdings. Divorce must be approved. I can have up to 4 spouses, which is very, very handy for churning out those sons and daughters of mine, which I can use to arrange alliances or raise a family of knights, as it were. and then I can marry my cousins without it being incest. I don't know if that's a situation I would ever get myself in, but hey, at least I have options. The Persian culture is fascinating as well. For one, garden architects. We can construct the royal garden duchy buildings, appoint a royal gardener if we so decide to. Our irrigation experts are one of the biggest benefits of being along the Persian culture. For one, I get a lot of positive buffs if I'm in a desert mountain hills, desert dry lands, essentially anything but fertile ground. This includes a small health boost and resistance to disease. The danger presented to me in these regions is drastically decreased, which allows me to not have to worry about hiring certain persons that might be able to protect me. One of the largest areas, especially in a small empire such as mine, is that development growth in the desert or the drylands has drastically increased. And wouldn't you know it, I have both deserts and drylands. And then, of course, all Persian buildings get a decrease in costs, which is awesome. The Fatua is another one, which may allow me to pursue martial, or at least have my sons pursue martial. The martial education traits are more valued. I can spar against my own knights in single combat to gain modifiers, if I so chose. Traits and benefits to all of this, including an injury resistance. Number of knights is increased as well, and accolade glory gain is awesome. But on top of that, we have irrigation experts, we have architectural, we have martial. We are also beacons of learning, which means that if I were to get a guardian, if I were to take on some men under me, some boys and daughters under me, I'm likely to give better traits to my wards, which is awesome. I'll try my best to educate all of my own children as such. My learning isn't that great, but it's not too shabby either. And then learning per level of devotion. If I were to become a very devoted person of the faith, I will gain learning and learning lifestyle. And last but certainly not least in our culture, the poet trait gives bonuses as much more common, and they perform better in the court position. All of these things are great. It essentially means I have a strong base for everything that I both believe in and I am culturally brought up in. The last thing I want to approach at the moment is my family. House Safarid, and this is one of the breaking from character. This is one of the awesome new features of the Persia DLC, is this idea of clan and house unity. At the moment, we are impassive, which means that we have impassive succession, which means glory, hound, vassal opinion. Vassal opinion matters a lot here. If we were to get up to harmonious, for instance, this allows us to have rescue house members or unify the house casus belli, and they can befriend each other. However, it does mean that a casus belli increases more and dread decay decreases slower. On the other end, antagonistic. This basically means that, well, we have a quite the rival household. And so it'll be interesting to see how we are able to sway this, and we are indeed able to sway house unity. However, the biggest issue that we have here is that our house head, Armir Armiran Yaqub Lath Zaid of the Safarid Grand Emirate, he's the detractor of the caliphate. That means he believes the caliph's place is at best Baghdad. We are at major odds against each other. And this is going to have an issue. This is ruining a lot of our relationship. And while we aren't too shabby here, again, I don't feel that I can align with my brother, as loyal as I want to be, a half-brother, mind you, that, well, we have some issues. Now, admittedly, he is drastically more powerful than I am, so this isn't something that I can do, nor am I actively going to seek to replace him. However, if push comes to shove, we might see what we can't do to either break away from him or do things otherwise. Wow, that's a lot about me. My kingdom is again meager. I have Panjir, which is making a nice little chunk of change, although it could be better, and Sanij, oof, not a lot going on whatsoever. Meager amounts of monthly income, prestige gain is next to nothing. However, my faith isn't too shabby and our renown grows. And at 553 men, I still feel like I can make a presence in here overall. Before we get anywhere, there are some house things that I need to approach myself. First, man, I need a spouse. My son, Hatim, does not deserve to be alone. He certainly needs a mother to help raise him. I need a spouse, and fortunately for me, I can have up to 4. And I think I found love at first sight. Parween. She is of the Asharism faith, which aligns great with me. She's Bedouin. Nothing wrong with that. Has some decent stats, including a great deal of martial, which may help me in the end, but also a decent smattering of learning. She's Hale, which means the potential for my children to have a prowess boost, a health boost, as well as attraction is likely. She's diligent, content, and temperate. All of the positive features that I could have in a marriage. She'll accept, of course, because we speak the Arabic language, and she is an unimportant courtier, absolutely. However, I need to go ahead and find some secondary wives, something that may secure some alliances with me, not anyone that I would necessarily, get super close with. These are definitely alliances. The first is Aisha bint Hamdan Hamdanid. Will of course be betrothed until she's a full adult, but it gets me a small alliance with someone of similar size as I am. Sheikh Hamdan ibn Hamdun of Nasibin, they will accept as well. With alliances no longer fruitful beyond that first one, I will instead choose Zarin. She's of Maturidism, we both consider ourselves righteous in terms of the faith, and she has superb learning skills. Of course she'll accept because, well, she's marrying up. And last, but certainly not least, is Gol Bahar. Congenial traits are quick. Hopefully that will allow our children to be a little bit smarter as well. They'll of course accept, and we are on our way. Lifestyle-wise, we are of course going into the intrigue. Now we could do age and acceptance and the skullduggery focus, intimidation focus as well. Skullduggery it is. We have massive amounts of dread gain, and then our martial per stress level goes up, which means we may thrive in a little bit of chaos, do some things that wouldn't necessarily align with our normal things in order to, well, toe the line indeed. Now, to start things off, I do want to somewhat keep the peace as much as it is possible, so we are going to go pay homage to our liege. Now, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to promise them a favor. We're not going to bestow gifts on them. I can't afford that. We will just give some general submission. And that, of course, does require a good deal of travel. We're all the way up in here. That's where we need to go. Safety-wise, I think we are totally fine, to be completely and totally honest. And we're going to bring in Nexus, who is our Aswar, or our knight, essentially. He has an average aptitude, which means we have a decent chance. Salary is not going to be too much. We don't need to customize the route either. This makes the most sense. It's very clearly the obvious route. We're going to start traveling for a mere 6 gold. Our desert warrior has been hired, and we are all well and good. I need to see what's going on in my council, though. My council isn't too fantastic, I'm not going to lie. I don't have the greatest. Anaconda. Actually, yeah. I'm just going to take you out. Welcome to, like, my actual court. I wasn't expecting that, but I could take your stewardship greatly. And then when you get back, we're going to put it down in here. Increase development, absolutely. So we can try and increase the development of everywhere that we are. Now, Naive Valab, by the way, just so you know, Nexus, Valab, and Paul are all community members, and they have financially supported, and as such, they are in this playthrough. If you would like to be considered part of this playthrough, then you can totally and easily support me in that manner, and I'll make sure that you get in. And then also my liege's council, of course. I am a spy master, which gives me natural dread and scheming power and all the things. All right, a fresh start, all packed and proper. We finally come to the point where we can start our journey. It's only going to take a meager 2 months to our next destination. That's fine. Oof, Nexus, we need to get to working on you. However, I will say, sweet, our first alliance has formed. We have a lot of things that we need to do here. All right, excellent. Next death, next marriage, excuse me. I promise there will be no death. Yet another one, and another one. We are fully stocked up on our women and on our wives. Great. We need to appoint a tax collector. We're going to pause here because this is another feature that I absolutely love about this game. The clan government has received a huge overhaul. It's still the basics where we need to improve our relationship with our vassals in order for them to contribute gold and men. However, we now have tax jurisdictions made up of clan vassals, and inside of which we can do decrees. Right now we have basic taxes, but we can switch things to like zakat, which means that on the liege, that's myself, per vassal, I get domain taxes increased. However, every vassal gets a monthly piety increase, but their opinion goes down. We have Ikta Grant, which gives us men-at-arms damage, and just gives opinion of liege has increased. Their recruitment costs and their maintenance goes down, but the taxes and the levies go down as well. Very powerful for large empires, not necessarily for myself. Ghazi status, you get the idea. There is a system of checks and balances all across here that allow us to do interesting things. Ghazi status gives income while at war, as well as monthly piety. So lots and lots of things that we could do here, including prestige, a monthly prestige decrease for a tax increase. We don't have very many vassals. I don't know that we could really lose much prestige at the moment. And so things like this, we could do, I think Giza status isn't too bad. We can't demand conversion or faith. This is essentially a tax to allow people to practice their own faith in return for a large increase in taxes. At the moment, nothing really benefits me, I'll say this, especially not monetarily. If anything, something that doesn't give an increase boost is going to be preferable for us. So we're actually going to keep things as they are, but we need to appoint another person. Ali Letazid, this is my other half brother. He is greedy, so I don't know that I really want him to do that. We'll go with Haka. There we go. And he also does not like me. We're going to be traveling along the road as we take a look at our realm and figure out everything that needs done. We only have 3 vassals. And to be quite fair, they're all of a decent opinion of me. So I'm actually not too terrible and afraid of things like that. What is this? Hoped it would not come to this, but I'm left with no other option. I must rescind your appointment as spy master, effective immediately. Now, who in the heck do you have that's more worthy than I am? Okay. Okay. Vali Farquad. I'm going to call him Farquad. Are you serious? He's at intrigue of 4, and he's not even... Oof. Oh, this hurts. How dare he indeed. Oof. You know what? You know what? We're gonna do it. He's only my half brother. I have a great chance of doing this. We're gonna go with it. This may end up terrible, but I'm definitely gonna plot the reason why, and my ambition comes through here without a doubt. I'm in line to inherit titles. I'm first in line for the Grand Admirate, and of course the Maharshandan of Sistan, the Valaya of Hormuz. Essentially, if my half-brother dies, I inherit his entire kingdom. We have agents joining the scheme as well. He's not well liked. That is very obvious to me. There are 10 agents all contributing to this. He is not well liked at all. And that was the final string for me. So, dear brother, you're not even here to receive me. That's an even further insult. The servants usher me into the Great Hall. He doesn't sit there. He has left. He is nowhere around. He can't even bother to see me. Fine. I'll hail the Amir Amiran. We get 25 renown. I gain prestige. Sure. But that's definitely not a plot that's going to end well for him. He has a lot going against him, and he doesn't even know it. My brother is a very confusing person. So he took away the spy master role, which I'm still quite bitter about. But then on my way home, he decides to grant me the Emirate of Makran, which is a duchy title. That's very intense. I don't understand what's going on. Perhaps he knows? Does he know that I'm about to try and kill him? I can't be sure without a doubt, but as I return home, we'll see what house matters go on. We've journeyed for 145 days and traversed 11 baronies. Thank Allah I can go inside again. My regency ended, of course, and then Tahir Safarid gained 150 prestige, which is all well and great. There are some matters at home which I need to address. For one, Hatim, he is going down the marshal, but he needs to be... I'm not going to appoint his vizier. No, he has absolutely no stewardship skills. I need to educate the child. And who better to educate than myself? We, of course, get that bonus for him. He's a gambler. Maybe that'll change in the future. I do have an MC council member. Oh, I thought he... Oh. Counselor court left. Can I incentivize him to join my court? He doesn't have a good opinion of me. That's very unfortunate. Perhaps I can marry him. Is there anyone inside of my... We're going to reset all to defaults. I want to have him... Not have him myself, mind you. But rather just allow him to... He will not accept. Our faith differs. The opinion of the matchmaker is different. Okay, well, let's find someone different. Is there no one else? There appears to be no one else. Okay, well, I'm sorry, my friend. I would have really enjoyed you in here. That's okay, though. So we still have some things to deal with. First, we do have a great deal. My Caravan Master, Nexus, you are definitely going to be in there. Anyone who doesn't have a good opinion of me, Haka, you are definitely going to be forced in there 100%. Now, we could invite a few more people because, to be quite honest, we have a handful of gentlemen who are not satisfyingly present and well and good enough to handle any of this. All right, well, let's see if we can't find you someone. You know what? This would be within my own realm, isn't it? Let's find someone with great prowess. Nexus won't do it. I think we've already done this. Okay, never mind. That works for me. Okay. How's it going, Nexus? Well done. Let's, okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. We'll get you married. Maybe you'll like me in the end. Let's go ahead and sway Nexus to see what happens, simply because he is a great knight, and I would love to gift him some land were it to come to it, but I don't trust him at the moment. Maybe that'll change in the future. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a lot I can do. Ali Laith Zaid Safarid, I have to put him in there. It won't work out super well, but it's all well and dandy. I can station a men-at-arms. We're definitely going to provide any bonuses. We would get additional damage and toughness in our home region of Panjur. So that makes the most sense to me. I could get some a year. Those are really, really good troops. But they are rather expensive. In fact, everything's quite expensive here. I don't know that bowmen make sense for me. Camel riders definitely make more sense. But again, it would be... I don't know that that would be beneficial for me at this time. I'm not looking to foment a war, so there's no real reason to do that. We could also get our family members married off to all the best people if we wanted to. Silver-tongued and attraction bonus. Hawk-eyed. Why not? We're going to... Ooh, that's not a great alliance. There we go. Banak, Faris, Farisid. They will accept. And then Tahir, my other half-brother. Lots of half-brothers here. Menri will definitely get some alliances in forming for us. And also, our total soldiers has increased massively. An alliance has been formed. Sweet. We now have a couple of very nice alliances in with us. That'll help us foment everything that we need to do. The realm's been quiet for a while. And at last, my schemes are coming to fruition. My agents have prepared for weeks. The cook has been bribed. Poison's been acquired. The duck that was gifted to Amir Amarian Yaqub alone. It'll be rubbed with the poison, and the bed of herbs will mask the smell of it as it's served. A deadly bitterness will be the last thing my half-brother and liege ever tastes. There's a 95% chance for success and secrecy. Bon appetit, Yakub. An invitation into the Marcrani court can only mean one thing. A house head has changed. I have become the new house head as well. That means that my plan worked. I've inherited everything. I am now, oh my word, there's so much. The dynasty head has changed. As Amiran, you have new duties and responsibilities. You'll be expected to regularly hold court, solving the disputes of our realm and letting the courtiers take place in your daily routines. Naib Hushiar, my vassal, is looking sternly at me in a direct lecturing way. Perhaps there's also some envy in his eyes. We'll have to keep an eye on him. Starts to unfold a beautiful banner bearing the emblem of House Safarid. One of the ways in which the world will now judge your role is by how you adorn and care for your royal court. Taking the liberty to have this made as a gift to mark the beginning of your royal tenure. Awesome. Prestige and renown are now mine. This is fantastic. Let them see their new Admiran. Thankfully, my half-brother is a healthy eater, and he is dead. Must have been something he ate. It also seems none of my agents under suspicion, which means they cannot be traced back to me. And now the court where my half-brother and liege had abandoned me and left me alone to serve him and swear fealty is now my own to do with what I please. We have several court artifacts. We are definitely going to do the Safarid Dynasty banner in the middle, which gives us a good prestige bonus. To the right, we're going to go with our house banner, which increases our prestige even more. And then to the left, we are going to do a Darif's Kavyani, which gives a massive boost to prestige and renown. Advantage in the same cultural heritage. We get popular opinion, court grandeur, and Persian. Awesome. This is the legendary Darif's Kavyani, the royal standard of the fallen Sassanid Empire, a symbol of identity and pride for the heirs of the Empire of Persia. That is us, without a doubt. And it looks fantastic, but that's not all. We have a couple of pedestals. We have the actual seal of Muhammad, which gives us a huge boost to piety, piety per night, court grandeur, temple building construction decreases, and costs. Fantastic. We also have the Achaemenid drinking vessel. It's an ornate cup, terminates in the shape of a goat. It's been made in forgotten times, but its beauty has not faded. It gives me another increase to my disease resistance, prestige, stress gain. That's not necessarily something I'm worried about, but nonetheless, it is fantastic. Welcome to your new emirate. Man, I am terribly excited. As you can see, I'm currently hemorrhaging money. It's because we have raised armies. So I am going to come and we are going to, well, yes, we definitely need to work on at least some of our things here. We're going to go with at least in the middle with everything, decent food, some servants, some lodgings. We're going to go that way. And yeah, we'll do everything in the middle. We'll definitely be able to reapply this in the future. Our court type, we are going to go with diplomatic over scholarly, I think. Well, no, we are definitely going to go with a scholarly court. It's going to give us a great deal of prestige, cost a great deal of prestige, but I think it's all about attracting the cultivated minds and peoples of exceptional skill. Apply, yes. That's a massive change, but it will mean that our court grandeur will increase over time. And what better to do than to hold court? It's going to cost 100 buckaroonies, prestige roonies, but it'll be all right. A peasant man from the city of Manajan is brought before me, and no matter what the guards do, he will not stop dancing, trailing blood from his mangled feet. I cannot cease, my lord. None of us can, not until we collapse. My courtier is certain the citizens are afflicted by an excess of blood, causing an imbalance in the humors. We will bring out the leeches. We have humors to balance. They'll get contained dancing mania for 10 years. They get 20 opinion, and I gain some learning lifestyles as well. My liege, Naib Hushair's voice is severe. I request that we launch an investigation about an infamous preacher in Panjur. See this preacher as well. She's a woman. This is not in accordance to our faith. Admir Sabuk interjects his speech by raising his hand and taking a step forward. Well, Hushar is correct in his assessment. That is the preacher's only flaws. Everything she teaches is in according to our faith. Interesting. Both of these people are our vassals. He currently does not like us whatsoever. When you need more powerful people to spread the word of Allah, we're going to do this. Preacher loved by the peasants, and we gain a little bit of an opinion boost. I don't see anything too terribly wrong. Regret to inform you the religious situation in my land is out of control. I've tried to make my subjects see the light of our faith, but too many of them persist in the wrong beliefs. Oh, our vassal. He is a bold fool as well. And he is a powerful vassal. Peaceful coexistence. This is what we need to do to satiate our vassal's opinion of us. Oh no, this is Farquaad, and he would actually lose it. Well, this is better than the other one. The last petitioner departs. Various courtiers follow them out of the room. My business here is done. Wow! And just like that, we are now... oh my word. We are now Amir Lath Zaid of the Safarid Grand Admirate. Now, what does that mean for us in the scheme of our Iranian Intermezzo? In terms of the Intermezzo itself, we are leaning towards stabilization. Despite the brewing troubles, the Caliph still commands respect. Rebellions and factionalism are on the back foot. We have been doing that quite steadily overall. And if we take a look here, we can see what catalysts towards stabilization versus concession. Stabilization, of course, win a war against another ruler. We have all the way down here, a detractor of the caliphate is killed. That was us. Thank you very much. You are absolutely welcome, Iranian Intermezzo. We're pushing towards stabilization, which is awesome. Now, of course, in our current effects, we have a lot that goes on in here. And we're going to hopefully be able to push things in a positive direction. There's a lot that we have to do. We have to replace our court chaplain, for goodness sake. He really, really does not like me. We're going to go ahead and sway him. I don't want to gift him an artifact, but actually, can I gift him titles? I can. Let's see what is the least. We could go after Rudbar and Farah. I think that would definitely be worthwhile. Give him the Valaya. That'll increase, and he still has minus 100, but hopefully that will change down the line when things are a little less chaotic. That is the hope anyways. Hopefully no one turns around and just kills me right off the bat. We have Amir Faraz of the Farazid Emirate. He also does not like me. Who do we have here? Your Chancellor, Vassal. No, we'll go ahead and assign Zurhair, and he'll be even more pleased with us as a result. I can do Admir Farquaad, who is my vassal. Yes. There we go. That increases his greatness there. And then who do we have here? My vassal, Amir Hussein Abdalazd of Yazd. He does have quite a few gentlemen there as well. And he does command a decent number of lands, so it's not anything that I want to give over to him. So does Amir Faraz. He actually owns a decent bit of the Farazid Emirate as well. All right, well, this is not looking too great for us. I perhaps have bit off more than I could chew. We will have to see. I'm above my domain limit by 1, which means we do need to grant something to someone that would be worthwhile. And this is where, we'll force him. This is where Nexus comes in. Now, what is the region that I can give away? I can give away Farah, so Nexus. Good sir. I'm going to give you the Valia of Farah in the hopes. Nope. That did not work whatsoever. We have several. Nearly everyone hates us in the worst ways possible. Now, there are ways that I believe we can fix this. I own too many duchy titles. So we can certainly give away the duchy. We can grant this to someone who really hates us. We can grant this to someone with a great deal of prowess. That is a lot of prowess. We can do things to... Yes. Yes. He will gain that, hopefully. He probably won't handle it very well, but he will enjoy the new title, and that means I now only hold 2 duchies, which is the max that I can hold anyways, and as a result, therefore, we should at least be able to remove, yes, I do not own too many duchies. Now, I can certainly grant an alliance with these guys, if they will do that, and something that I wouldn't mind doing whatsoever. I can only do so much though, and I have to figure out where it exactly falls in line for myself. Now there's lots going on. Our vassals all pretty much hate me, and the main reason is I have limited crown authority, which I could always pass to high crown authority, or I could actually go down to pass autonomous vassals if I wanted to. Several of these men want seats on the council. A lot of them don't see me as their rightful liege, which means that I don't hold the direct de jure liege title of the vassal's primary title. I have no alliance as a powerful clan vassal, which is another thing. We can totally change some of their things as well if we wanted to. We need to figure out how to let them be a little more accepting of me. And it seems as though a lot of these men just simply do not like me from a cultural standpoint, which isn't nice. That's not great. It's not fantastic at all. So what titles do I indeed hold? I hold the Safarid Grand Admirate, which if we were to look down here, we could see what that would lead to. So that is the kingdom title, which is de jure part of the Persian Empire, which is currently in my possession. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So I own quite a bit of land that doesn't technically belong to me. That's what I think a large part of the issue is. And I also simply don't, I do not have a lot of the duchies that are required. And I do believe that is another issue as well. So perhaps I can gain some respect amongst my fellow people the longer that I am ruling. But man, what a situation to be in. I didn't expect this to be so intense. I was just wanting to supplant my brother in a fit, not a fit per se, but just as a slight middle finger, as it were, to what he was doing to me amidst all of the things that were going on. And now, Safarid Grand Admirate. We have to figure out where we sit in the midst of all this. We own one of the larger empires in the area. Of course, we are nothing compared to the Abbasid Empire, but regardless, it's a difficult time. It's a very stressful time. I've just taken over. It's not even been a full year, and I've gone from a meager spy master to now, Grand Admirate. This is awesome. I am super happy. Let's see where it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the end of this episode of this roleplay. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed it, of course, you can do all the things, support the channel, including giving any advice, things I should do, places I should go, actions that I should take, and or if my counsel were to be wise, then I'll take it. You can also support the channel by becoming a member, in which case you would be inserted into this realm, and we'll be able to have a great time here. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this first episode. Hope you'll return for the next one. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.